Hey everyone, welcome back to Billy Love Gaming Reviews, where we dive deep into the stories that keep us up at night, twisting and turning our minds with every page. If you love psychological thrillers that mess with your head and leave you questioning what's real, then buckle up because today's book is a game changer. We're talking about The Writer by James Patterson and J.D. Barker, a mind-bending, twist-filled ride that turns every expectation on its head. If you've been a fan of Patterson's trademark short chapters and high tension, or if you've read Barker's work and know the man can build a creepy atmosphere like no one else, this book is an absolute must-read. But don't worry, I've got you covered. This review is spoiler-free at first. I'll break it all down for you: the plot, the pacing, the characters. And then after a spoiler warning, I'll get into the twists and the shocking ending. Trust me, this one's got layers. The Writer opens with a chilling premise. Denise Morrow, a best-selling author of true crime novels, finds herself in a nightmare of her own making. It starts with a call to 911. She reports a break-in and claims her husband has been murdered. But from the very beginning, things don't add up. There's something off about Denise. Something calculated in her behavior. When Detective Declan Shaw arrives at the scene, he's immediately struck by the weirdness of it all. The apartment is pristine, but Denise's demeanor is strange. She's covered in blood, her husband's body lies nearby, and the whole thing feels like a setup. Yet, despite the blood, the chaos, and the trauma, Denise demands only one thing: that Detective Shaw handles the case personally. At first, this might seem like a typical murder mystery, but the writer isn't interested in playing by those rules. This is more than just a whodunit, it's a study in control, narrative, and the manipulation of truth. You're not just trying to figure out who committed the crime, you're trying to understand how much of the crime itself is being crafted by the people involved. Character dynamics. Let's talk characters. Denise Morrow is a fascinating character. She's brilliant, cold, and completely aware of the power of narrative. She's a writer, after all. Her novels dissect the lives of killers, and her books are known for their deep dives into the human psyche. So when Denise finds herself in a situation where her own life is the subject of investigation, she plays the role with the same precision as her writing. But is she really the victim? Or is she something far darker? And then there's Detective Declan Shaw. Shaw is a seasoned investigator. He's seen it all. But when he walks into Denise's apartment, he's immediately out of his element. Shaw is forced to navigate the mystery not just with his training, but with his gut instincts. The tension between Denise's calm, controlled demeanor and Shaw's mounting unease is palpable throughout the story. You can't help but wonder, is Shaw being manipulated? Or is he simply drawn into a puzzle too complex to resist? The setting. The setting of The Writer is incredibly important. The majority of the book takes place within the luxurious Beresford building in Central Park West, a high-rise apartment complex that has its own eerie vibe. The apartment is beautifully described, an aesthetic space filled with bookshelves and elegant furniture, but it's also stark and cold. It feels like a place where the truth is hidden beneath a perfect surface. The apartment itself serves as an emotional cage. It's a place where secrets are kept, where stories are written, and where everything feels carefully constructed. The claustrophobia of being trapped in this one apartment adds to the psychological tension. The characters can't escape each other physically or emotionally. And this is key. The book isn't interested in the typical thriller tropes of high-speed chases or dramatic confrontations. Instead, it's about mental conflict. It's about the battle of words, ideas, and perceptions. Pacing and structure. The pacing of The Writer is one of its strongest suits. If you're familiar with James Patterson's trademark fast-paced, short chapters, you know how quickly a story can build momentum. But here's where J.D. Barker's influence shines. The slow-burn psychological tension is built over time, with layers of suspicion, doubt, and unease. There's a constant push and pull between the fast pace of Patterson's chapters and Barker's more intricate, detailed psychological narrative. As a reader, you feel like you're constantly on the edge. The plot moves quickly, but there's always an underlying sense that something isn't right. But more importantly, it never lets you off the hook. Even when you think you have a handle on what's happening, a new layer gets added, pulling you back into the mystery. It's a perfect balance of suspense and revelation. Alright, we're getting into the juicy stuff now. If you're planning on reading this book and don't want to spoil the twists, now's your chance to jump off. Go ahead and grab the book, dive in, and then come back so we can discuss everything that went down. We're diving full force into spoilers starting now. So, the big reveal. Let's talk about Denise Morrow. At first, it's hard to tell if she's a victim or something far more dangerous. She's covered in blood. Her husband is dead. And she seems so in control too, in control for someone who's just witnessed a violent crime. As the investigation unfolds, we start to learn more about Denise's marriage. It wasn't a happy one. Far from it. Her husband was involved in shady business, possibly illegal activities, and emotionally abusive. Denise knew. She had known for a long time. And instead of leaving, she took a much darker approach. The truth. Denise murdered her husband. But it wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. She planned it meticulously. She engineered the crime scene, made sure that the authorities would be drawn in, and then carefully set up her narrative. She manipulated every conversation, every action to ensure that her story was the one that would be told. What really messed with my head was the way she orchestrated everything, including her own role in the crime. It wasn't just about getting away with murder. It was about telling the world her version of events. And she's so good at it. She knows how to craft the perfect narrative, something her books have been teaching readers for years. Now, she's the author of her own life, writing a story in which she's both the victim and the hero. But Shaw, he gets it. He understands what she's doing. And yet, he lets her go. He knows she's guilty. But he also sees that she's been writing her own story for so long, she's convinced herself it's the truth. And here's the kicker. Shaw doesn't stop her. He doesn't arrest her. He lets her walk away, knowing she's more dangerous than any criminal he's ever encountered. It's a morally gray moment that makes you question justice, not just in this case, but in the world of crime fiction itself. The writer is a masterpiece of suspense and manipulation. It's a book about narratives, control, and the lies we tell ourselves. Denise Morrow is both a brilliant and terrifying character. She's a reflection of every writer who manipulates the truth for their own ends, but she's doing it with real-life consequences. Final rating: 4.8 out of 5 stars. This book was absolutely captivating. The only reason I'm not giving it a perfect score is because, while the reveal was great, I felt like there could have been a few more breadcrumbs leading up to Denise's big plan. It almost felt too easy, but overall an unforgettable read. Have you read the writer? What did you think? Did you see the twist coming, or did it hit you like a punch to the gut? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm dying to hear your take on this book. If you like this review, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and tap that notification bell so you never miss out on more book breakdowns, deep dives, and reviews. Thanks for watching Billy Love Gaming Reviews. Stay sharp, stay skeptical, and keep reading thrillers that make you think long after the final page.